the eastern United States. Hwang Dong-soo ride this way, and that as if he was having a nightmare, before he shot up from the bed. The first thing he saw was the white ceiling. Hwang Dong-soo tilted his head at these unfamiliar surroundings. Is this a hospital? It wasn't. It wasn't a dream. Hwang Dong-soo wiped the strand of cold sweat traveling down to his chin. It was at this point that he discovered the patient gown he wore, and the IV needle stuck to his arm. Hwang Dong-soo's expression hardened in fury, and then he spoke in a cold voice. If you have something to say, hurry up and say it, and leave. The deputy director of the Hunter Bureau was there with him in the room. A middle-aged Caucasian man, with more white than black on his head, slowly approached Hwang Dong-soo's bed. There is something I wanted to ask you personally, so I waited for you to come around. What did he want to ask? Hwang Dong-soo raised his head. The deputy director held his gaze without backing down and asked, that man named Seong-il Hwan, was he really a monster? Do you think I'd attack someone who was a human? I'm not saying that I don't trust you. Only that, I wish to confirm what I saw with my own eyes. The deputy director pushed forward his phone towards Hwang Dong-soo. A certain video footage was playing on its screen. And this is footage captured by CCTV cameras nearby on that day. In the footage, one could see an Oriental man rescuing employees from the collapsing Hunter Bureau building. There was no need to ask who that man was. How could Hwang Dong-soo forget? That face was the last thing he saw before he blacked out. That man was Seong-il Hwan. The deputy director's complexion darkened. I have never heard of a monster rescuing humans before. Is there no change to your opinion that this man is a monster? He's definitely a monster. Understood. The deputy director pocketed the phone. Once you're discharged from here, stop by the bureau. There are a couple of documents you need to sign. Hwang Dong-soo asked the deputy director as the latter was about to turn around and leave. What happened to that man? He disappeared after fighting you. We're in the midst of tracking him down, but he's powerful enough to knock you down easily, so whether he could be caught or not is, well. Just before he stepped out of the hospital room, the deputy director opened his mouth again, sounding more troubled than before. By any chance, do you have any idea where that man might head off to? Seeing Hwang Dong-soo resolutely keep his mouth shut as if he had nothing more to say, the deputy director quietly left the room. But, once he was gone, Hwang Dong-soo furiously yanked the IV needle out of his arm. FCK. What a humiliating defeat that was. Even before he could figure out what happened, he found his neck trampled on by Seong-il Hwan. Not only that, shamefully cowering on the floor, too. Just as he began gasping for air, Seong-il Hwan spoke to him. Don't come to Korea. This isn't for my son, but for your sake. You won't be able to close your eyes, even in death. And that's where his memory ended. Once he regained his consciousness, he found himself here. Can't close my eyes even in death. What did he mean by that? Was that a threat to kill Hwang Dong-soo in such a brutal way that he'd be unable to close his eyes? How dare he threaten me? I need better equipment if I want to kill him. Thankfully, it wouldn't be hard getting his hands on that equipment. I should call my guild. The guild Hwang Dong-soo was a part of, Scavenger, was one of the very best in the world. Hell, there was even a joke doing the rounds that, if one were to tally up the value of all the artifacts in possession of the Scavenger Guild, it'd easily exceed the annual budget of a small nation. If I get my hands on some artifacts, there shouldn't be a problem. Madness burned bright within Hwang Dong-soo's eyes. To South Korea, that was Hwang Dong-soo's next destination. I did it. Jin-woo couldn't hide his elation. His luck was good, and he acquired 4 souls from the very last demon he killed. With that, he was able to meet the quest's clear goal. Obviously, once he made his reply, the list of rewards popped up in his view. 1. Any one item available in the system. 2. Plus 20 bonus stat points. 3. An unknown reward. Other rewards did catch his eye. But right now, the first one on the list demanded the most of his attention. It wouldn't be much of an exaggeration to say that he completed this quest solely for the first reward, too. Except the first reward. An item he wanted was it. Of course, there was one. From the moment he saw the details of this quest, Jin-woo was thinking of a certain item. What kind of a result would be facing him now if he chose differently back then? He was curious about this ever since that fateful day. However, he didn't know whether the thing was treated as an item or not. Still, it didn't hurt to try, at least. The system asked him again, as if to urge him on. After a short deliberation, Jin-woo made his reply. The cursed random box. Back when he found himself standing on a crossroad, Jin-woo chose the blessed random box instead of the cursed random box. And the result of that decision was the key to the demon's castle. Thanks to that, he gained entry to this instant dungeon and earned a lot. His level had risen up greatly. He acquired lots of items, and as for gold, well, it was overflowing to such an extent that he was beginning to think he should start spending some very soon. Even if I was given a chance to do over, I'd have chosen the same. However, just because he chose to take this path, that didn't mean he was not curious about the potential result of choosing a different path. The blessed random box, supposed to give him what he wanted, and the cursed random box that was supposed to give him what he needed. Just what could be inside the latter. I did get what I wanted from the blessed random box, that's for sure. And so, the perfect chance to satisfy that curiosity once and for all had landed in his lap. A small box slowly materialized in front of his feet. Yes, his heart beating much quicker now, Jinwoo hurriedly picked the box up. However, he was suddenly overcome with this feeling that the weight of this box was rather familiar to him. Could it be? He quickly ripped the lid open and confirmed what was inside, only for his eyes to grow very large. Isn't this? The additional stat points he earned as the quest completion reward were still waiting for him. And of course, he put them all in intelligence. Strength 178, endurance 137, agility 147, intelligence 149, perception 119. Finally, intelligence had exceeded other stats. It was still some ways off strength, but when considering the fact that he didn't even pay attention to the intelligence stat until recently, this growth could only be called lightning fast. Along with that message, a scroll similar in size to the entry permit appeared in his hands. What's this? Jinwoo's eyes opened wider at this unexpected type of reward, and he unfurled the scroll right away. You can learn the crafting methods of divine water of life. Jinwoo's eyes widened even further. I can craft an item with this, and here he was, thinking that only those who had awakened as mage types could craft weapons containing magical energy. Now that he thought about it, though, he was also a mage type, wasn't he? Rarity S. Type, consumable. A mysterious liquid medicine that cures any and all illnesses through the powerful magic contained within. The effect will only manifest after one whole bottle has been consumed. Cures any and all illnesses. The moment he read that information, he thought about his mother, still confined to the hospital. He had already confirmed through Yu Jinho multiple times that effects of various potions still worked on other people. If he could truly make this divine water of life, then it meant that he'd be able to save his mother. His hands holding the scroll trembled from excitement. The ingredients were also on the simpler side, so to speak. Fragment of the World Tree. He earned that after killing Vulcan on the 50th floor. Spring water from the Forest of Echoes. He got that after killing Metis the Necromancer on the 75th floor. And finally, purified blood of the Demon King. This item hadn't shown up yet. However, thinking back to the two ingredients that had come out so far, he could easily guess where he might find some of this purified blood of the Demon King from. The upper floors. I'm sure it's with the final boss of the Demon's Castle. Probably on the top floor. In other words, simply by clearing the Demon's Castle dungeon, the ingredients to craft the divine water of life would fall into his lap one by one. It happened then. A gasp of epiphany leaked out of his mouth, completely unbeknownst to him. That's how surprised Jinwoo was. Could it be that? The item he wanted as per description on the blessed random box said. Could that be this divine water of life? Mom, thinking about the possibility that he'd get to see his mother again all healthy, his eyes began welling up with emotions. Jinwoo summoned his inventory and retrieved an item stored right next to the spring water. It was a necklace, seemingly carved out from skulls of various small creatures. Rarity S. Type, accessory, agility plus 20, intelligence plus 20. When worn together with Demon Sovereign's earrings and Demon Sovereign's ring, set bonus effects will be unlocked. Set effect 1. Set effect 2. The spring water from the Forest of Echoes wasn't the only loot he got from killing the guide of the departed souls, Metis. Indeed, this rather vile-looking necklace also came out, too. Why are the designs of all the necklaces I found so crappy? Jinwoo frowned deeply while recalling the appearance of the dog collar he was currently wearing. He slowly brought the Demon Sovereign's necklace closer to his neck. Replace. The skull necklace disappeared from his hands, only to be replaced by a dog collar. He quickly shoved the dog collar inside his inventory, and checked the newly unlocked set effect of the Demon Sovereign's accessory set. Set effect 1, all stats plus 5. Set effect 2, all of my stats rose up by 5 points. He only managed to unlock one set effect, yet he received a boost similar to leveling up 5 times. And then, he still had one more unknown effect to go, the one he'd receive after gathering all the accessories. The Demon Sovereign's ring. When considering the possibility that the last unlocked set effect from all 3 accessories being in one place should be even greater than the individual parts on their own, this really was already an amazing performance. However, acquiring accessories rated at S was only a part of the harvest he enjoyed after entering the Demon's Castle. The real profit was his level jumping up so high. Jinwoo stared at his level that had climbed up to 77 and smiled in content. I leveled up 16 times inside a week. Such a leveling up speed was unthinkable when entering rank C dungeons. There was one thing he couldn't really figure out yet. Jinwoo let the light from the lamp fall on the object that came out of the cursed random box. Just what the hell is this thing? It was a pitch black key that seemed to absorb all light. No information popped up in his view, either. This is the first time seeing an item with absolutely no information. The keys to instant dungeons could be seen as pretty common, since he got them from random boxes every now and then. But this guy here, he had never seen anything quite like it. Where am I supposed to use this? Perhaps because it came out of a box named Cursed Random this and that. He couldn't help but think that there was this ominous aura circling around the key. He acquired this key through so much hard work, so he couldn't even throw it away. Well, I'm sure I'll get to use it sooner or later. The Cursed Random box was supposed to give him something that he needed, after all. Has it been 4 years already? Or maybe it was close to 5 now. Jinwoo's expression was full of reminiscence as he stood in front of the employee manning the reception kiosk. The employee's head tilted this way, and that after taking one look at Jinwoo's choice of identification. Isn't this a hunter license? It is. Employee formed a confused expression. If you are unhappy with your assigned rank, you should head over to another depart. No, it's not that. I wish to take the reassignment test. There are guys like that every now and then. Hunters who are not satisfied by the reality of their situation, and swim inside daydreams before coming back here hoping against hope. So, is that guy also? The manager nodded his head. Reawakened, my foot. Others are busy raking in the dough as hunters, getting famous and all that. But well, he drew the short straw and he ended up as a nobody. So, he's just trying to escape from reality. Dealing with guys like that will only tire you out. So, just tell him that he'll be paying the fee for the test and send him on his way to the measurement room. Roger that. The fingers of the manager stopped typing on the keyboard. The name written on the hunter license. Why did it feel like he had heard of that name before from somewhere? Where was it? That man asked for a favor, didn't he? That man asked the manager to give him a call if a hunter named Seong Jinwoo ever showed up here. Hello, it's Baek Yunho speaking. Hello there, Chairman Baek. I'm calling you because of the hunter you spoke about the last time. The man named Seong Jinwoo. He really came here today. But how did you know that he might appear here? Did you just say that Mr. Seong Jinwoo came there? Yes, he was here just now, applying to get a reassignment test. The conversation came to an abrupt halt and an awkward silence pervaded the line. However, only a short while later, an urgent voice came out from the phone's speaker. Even if it's only for a short while, can you somehow delay the measurement process? I'm on my way over there right now. The manager began tilting his head. Did he just mishear that? The master of the one and only White Tiger Guild was speaking with an anxious voice. Well, I'll be. Besides all that, though, the evaluation process was out of his hands already. The manager could only sheepishly reply while scratching the side of his head. That man must have entered the measurement building by now. Jinwoo parked his butt on the very last spot available of the waiting room's bench. Currently, there were 3 people waiting for their turn here. All of them looked quite tense, nervous. Jinwoo could sympathize with what these people were going through inwardly at this moment. Well, the directions of their lives would be decided with the results of today's evaluation, after all. The first time Jinwoo came here, he was thinking about the exact same things as these people. What if I was a rank A, no, even a rank B, or could it be I'm a rank S, swimming in a happy daydream, only to be shocked to the core after receiving the evaluation of rank E. Thinking back to that day 4 years ago, Jinwoo couldn't help but smirk slightly. They are all from various guilds, apparently. Various guilds, is it? Yes, well, hunters don't usually seek out smaller guilds, so they resorted to sending people over here and set up camp just so they can sweet-talk Awakened like us after we're done with the evaluation. Indeed, there was a certain chilly, unfriendly, and competitive air circulating among those folks. And the way they are looking in this direction is pretty predatory, too. Well, there was a reason for that, of course. I'm telling you this because it might help you. But you see, it's better not to sign up with guilds like theirs. Why not? From what I hear, smaller guilds take on lots of dangerous raids, and their hunter fatality rate is far higher than average, too. Jinwoo nodded his head in agreement. At the end of the day, the circumstances of smaller guilds would always remain a bit ambiguous. Unlike privately organized freelancer-led raid parties, clearing low-ranked dungeons wouldn't satisfy them financially. But then again, the skills of the hunters signed up with them wasn't quite good enough to clear higher ranked dungeons. So, accidents happen frequently during their raids, which means recruiting new hunters becomes doubly important for them. And so, they arrived at a point where they had to follow the potential newbies right into the association building and prey on them. Next, please, since the location for the evaluation itself was wide open. One could easily read the expressions on those who finished the test, as well as the employees performing the said test. and the expression of the guy who had taken his test just now didn't look so good. I'd guess it's either a D or an E. Those folks from the smaller guilds must have thought about the same thing as Jinwoo, because they showed no interest whatsoever even when an awakened walked right past them. Wasn't that too honest a reaction from them? Well, if high-ranked hunters appeared frequently, they wouldn't be paid big bucks anyway. For regular citizens, even being a rank C would be a huge jackpot. One could still earn a fair bit of money by entering freelancer raid parties, or if one's luck was good, then entering large guilds was a viable option, too. Indeed, there were 4 rank CS among the White Tiger Guild's new recruits, weren't there? If one successfully managed to enter a large guild, then it was pretty much guaranteed that you'd earn an annual salary similar to what doctors or lawyers made. I heard that you'd get a ton of money upfront when signing with a large guild. Actually, I owe some money, you see. Because of that, I had to separate from my little girl and must live alone for the time being. Maybe it's because of that, but I'm feeling really nervous. Meanwhile, another awakened walked out, and, next up, please come this way. Are you feeling okay? No, it's not that, but, do you mind going ahead first? I'm too tense right now, you see. Was there a reason to refuse when someone wished to give up his spot in the queue? Jinwoo quickly accepted the proposal. Anyone would be feeling nervous if these few minutes determined the rest of their lives. What is your name? It's Xiang Jinwoo. Mr. Xiang Jinwoo, right? Please place your hand on the black-colored panel over there and wait for a little while. Following the instruction, Jinwoo walked over to the measuring device and placed his hand on the black panel. This guy's already been evaluated as an awakened rank T. The employee took a look at the documentation and glanced at Jinwoo with a mystified expression. Just why were almost all the hunters coming here to retake tests all rank E? The employee's expression changed to that of apathy as he activated the measuring device. The magic energy measuring device buzzed noisily, and a short while later it stopped its operation. The results appeared on the display monitor. What's going on here? The employee tilted his head this way and that, before speaking to Jinwoo, as the latter was about to take his hand off the panel. Hold up, please. Yes, I'd like to run the test one more time. Okay, Jinwoo placed his hand back on the panel. But something like this never happened before. The expression of the employee gradually hardened. Why was the measuring device malfunctioning all of a sudden? The employee asked for Jinwoo's cooperation once more. I'm truly sorry, but one more time, please. Even before he was asked to take the test again, Jinwoo had already decided to wait and thus didn't bother to lift his hand away from the panel. Why is the device behaving like this? Cold sweat drops formed on the employee's forehead. Where is Chang-sik? Why are you alone here? The employee quickly looked behind him, and he found Manager Jiang Kai-su from the Rank Evaluation Application Department standing there. Manager Jiang. Relief formed on the employee's face after an unexpected reinforcement made his entrance. The senior officer went to the bathroom just now. That fool, how dare he vacate his position in the middle of office who? Jiang Kai-su couldn't bring himself to finish that sentence. The measuring device is acting a little weird. The device is what now? Please, take a look. This error message keeps popping up. Once the employee took a step back, Jiang Kai-su stood in his stead in front of the monitor that displayed the result of Jinwoo's measurement. And right away, Jiang Kai-su's expression froze up. How long have you been working here? It's been around 6 months, sir. Did I press the wrong button? Nope. Just call Chang-sik and tell him to get over here right now. Excuse me, I'm saying. His toilet break or whatever isn't important anymore, so tell him to get his ass over here right away. Jiang Kai-su raised his voice. The employee flinched and asked, what's the matter, manager? This isn't an error message, but it's saying impossible to measure. Don't you understand what that means? But that wasn't an error message. Why was every single newbie employee such a dumbass? Jiang Kai-su's gaze left the employee and landed on the person taking the evaluation test. This message means that this device can't measure that person's magic power. Did this newbie say it had been around 6 months since he started working here? Forget about 6 months. Something like this had not happened in the past 2 years, so of course, it wasn't surprising at all to see a newbie employee being completely oblivious. Jiang Kai-su's voice trembled as he replied, right, he's a rank S. Rank S special. This rank had been in wide use so people mistook it for an actual official rank. But in reality, this rank simply existed to group those awakened who couldn't be measured by any device. Excuse me, Mr. Xiang Jinwoo, with the current device. Kim Chang-sik immediately remembered that Jinwoo was already a hunter, so he changed the way he addressed the youth. No, wait. Allow me to start over. It's impossible to measure your magical energy output with this device. Xiang Jinwoo Hunter Nim. We need to ask for permission from the higher-ups if we want to use the precision measuring device. So would you mind if you come and visit us again in 3 days' time? By the way, it sounds like Block B is a bit noisier than usual today. Block B, you say? Truth be told, Chief Park couldn't hear anything at all. However, Choi Jong-un was a rank S hunter. His 5 senses should never be compared to that of a regular person's. If Choi Jong-un said it was getting rowdier down there, then something must have happened for real. An honorable guest had come to visit, so what a shameful blunder this was. Chief Park frowned slightly and spoke up. Let me go and find out what's happening. No, wait. I'm also getting curious, so. Choi Jong-un raised his head, and a mysterious flash of light could be seen in his eyes for a moment. And an equally mysterious smile formed on his lips. Why don't we go together? The entirety of the Block B had become deathly silent. Just now, definitely impossible to measure. Does that mean that guy's a rank S? I've only ever heard of it, but seeing an impossible to measure rank with my own eyes is... Gulp. The recruitment agents dispatched by various smaller guilds were busy swallowing dry saliva as they stared at Jin Woo turning in their direction. However, none of them tried to talk to him. If he was a rank C, then they would have started a war of nerves trying to sign him up to their respective guilds. They would have formed the proverbial queue just for a chance to talk to him. What about a rank B, then? They would pounce on him like crazy while throwing around quite attractive sounding offers, such as guaranteed spot as a high-ranking officer in the guild, or shares in the guild, etc. This man, who got his magic energy measured just now, was supposedly a rank S. Not an A, but an S. It might be an easy thing to say, but the truth was, that single letter was only used to denote the very best awakened in the country, with only 9 of them existing in South Korea. But that man included, it'll be 10, isn't it? The 10th rank S hunter. This youth was not someone these headhunters from the various small guilds could even attempt to talk to. Wait a minute. Couldn't this be my opportunity? A handful of quick-witted scouts suddenly had this remarkable idea. How about acting as a middleman? Just as the scouts sneakily glanced at their peers and began inching forward, someone suddenly pointed towards the entrance of the Block B. Huh? Isn't that? Was it because everyone was so tense already? No one could tell who did it first. Everyone seemingly shifted their gazes over in the direction the first man to open his mouth pointed at. The eyes of the scouts widened immediately. Yuck. A man wearing a stylish business suit was entering Block B. There wasn't a single person present who didn't know that man's name. Choi Jong-un. Why is the leader of the hunters here?